Alright, so welcome everyone to Barons of Khan. This is a 4 to 5, it says 5 years here, but it's a 4 to 5 year old world that my friends and I have been working on for the whole time, pretty much on and off. Just like anyone else, we take breaks, and other times we go pretty hard at it, but it's been on and off for 5 years, or 4 to 5 years now. We have an underlying lore to everything that we're doing, and the whole map is based on a gameplay type that we've developed called Barons of Kaaan, where essentially each city is ran by a different person or major builder, and they're allowed to set the rules for that city, and the people who want to reside there or build there take advantage of its resources, its whatever it may be. The different barons are the ones who set the rules for each area, and then collectively agree on where new barons or new major builders can put new cities or builds. So it's kind of complex. There's a bit more to it than that, but it's a bit more diplomatic than your average Minecraft map. So anyway, that's a lot of talking. Here we are at spawn, which until only recently was actually rough, and we've just developed it in the past few weeks to actually accommodate new players, because when new players join in, they have no abilities except for, well, they pretty much just have no abilities. They can go around, they can open doors, and they can get into areas to be safe, but that's about it. So, when you come in, this is the spawn, and here you go. I'm not necessarily giving a full world tour right now because that would take hours, and we are not going to do that. And other times I just won't even really talk for long periods of time, especially in these longer streams, but as the introduction, this is the very first place we ever built, called Sandy Shores Adventure Lodge. This was built by Troop of the Man and myself, and it's been relatively the same for the past couple of years, but we definitely developed it a bunch over time. I'll give you a quick little look around just so you don't think it's an outdoor weird mishap spot. Inside is our cave. You can see that's Troop's room right here. I guess his sign isn't there, but that's his room. This is my room. Got cakes on the table here. Fireplace. It overlooks a natural cavern here, which actually goes down. And that was all natural, so we kind of got a bonus feature there. And then this was our first hero room we ever built, which kind of has everything you need. There's a second level down there, which I'm not going to reveal the secret of how you get down there, but that's that. And then there's supposed to be another quote-unquote secret hallway over here, but I don't know what happened to the painting recently. Anyway, this goes up to the Mage's Library, which was the first really hangout spot and full enchanting table we ever made. Another natural feature looking up into the jungle. So a lot of my builds personally, I try to, if it's involving a land feature, just always incorporate the land feature instead of taking away what might be cool about what made me want to build there in the first place. So to me, that's always been this pit, which has been a weird natural formation. You can see we just kind of left it open to fall down there if you want. And so that's pretty much the main of our first spot. There's a lot of little outer areas, and there's another major hangout lounge up on that level there. But other than that, it's nothing too complex. We've just left it pretty basic, other than, as you can see, the glass tunnel that goes through the Meridian Sea there. There's a little hangout area down there. That door has been there for so long that I don't even really want to move it at this point. Yeah, so this is the Adventure Lodge. Little garden there. Here's the upper hangout area, which we call the Smokers Club. 18 plus, of course. Another little natural view here. So that's the Adventure Lodge. I mean, there's, of course, with everything we do, plenty more secrets. There's a mine here, and that goes down to a railroad, and some other little things that I won't reveal now, or maybe ever, but hey, you can come join our world and try and find them if you want. So, right across the water here, which is also connected there by a bridge, we have Big Bush, one of the first monuments of this world made by Trooper the Man. It's the biggest known growing tree in the land of Kaa'n. It's so big that the base is even carved out here. Never quite understood why he put a garden inside, but hey, it's protected. Big bush. I haven't seen that in forever. So we're gonna actually go somewhere kind of secret. This is the map room. This is built pretty much at 0, 0 of our world. You can see I'm at Z40 and X10. I can even go to X0 in this room. So true 0, 0 is slightly north here, but that would have to go under the waterway, and we just originally didn't build that. I think at one point this may have actually been closer to 00, but our world's been through so many different updates that I think it shifted at one point slightly, but I could be totally wrong. Anyway, you can see in the very center of the center map there, the brown dot is where we are. And though we've discovered a bit more than what's here, this is kind of the known area of our map so far. The main capital world exists in this center map. All the main cities are within there or just slightly below. And then some of our other builds continue down over this direction. And then this whole bottom section is just primarily explored and not necessarily anything that we have built down there. This looks really wrong to me. I don't know why this is here. Oh, it's because that's the center map. That's really weird. Okay. This is Zanzibar, which is the main capital of our world. This is where the original throne room was built. And then one of the original nether portals was here as well. Which we've since closed in a new project. This capital city is run by a Troop of the Man, who was the first person to join into this world with me. I designed this original throne room and temple as kind of a gift to him. This is the main harbor port. And as you can see, one of the main exports of the city is sugarcane, which leads to sugar and paper. Paper being a pretty valuable commodity. It's actually a law within the realm that Zanzibar is the only place that can grow sugarcane by law, so any fields that are found anywhere are destroyed, and the product is either destroyed or brought back to Zanzibar. This is actually my house that exists within this city. I'm a lord in this city. My little house here. Can set a spawn if I want, since there's a bed. So this is what we'd call like the inner city, because it has a wall all the way around it. You can't really see it on this map since it's the most zoomed out, but it kind of surrounds the whole inner city here. And if you go outside, we have the rest of the city. This is the Colosseum. This was built at the exact area where the King of Dragon's Keep and the Redstone magician Kenny, they had the first organized fight in this world, I'm pretty sure is what it was. Either way, it was recorded and it's pretty epic. It'll have to be uploaded sometime. They fought in this exact area, and since this is where they fought, we built the Colosseum around that area. It's quite simple. The way it works is each fighter goes to their own end. They go up top. They put what they want to bet, or their gear, or their items into the chest here. What map is this? Oh, okay. Map 0. That's not what I meant to do. So each fighter comes up to their end, they put what they want to bet into the chest here. Or sorry, they put it in the middle chest over there. They put their own gear that is not part of the bet in this chest. And then they go back down. They hit the button, they go in, and now they're locked in. There's no way they can get out. They go down, and they're in their fighting end, and then the fight starts, and they go. It's been this configuration for a while, but we have changed the inside fighting arena a couple times over time to have fire and other features. I'll just stand here to give a little view of what else is going on around here. So that is the new main temple that is being built for Zanzibar, since it's the capital. This temple over there is not quite cutting it anymore. It's too small. Since the city's expanding, it needs a new center, which is going to be there. You can see there's a little market area beyond the Colosseum, and there's a big actual gorge that cuts into the middle of the town square there. It drops down about 100 feet. I'll actually run over to the glass tower just to show it off on the inside, since I gave the outside view. Can't just leave it as a teaser, I guess. Or maybe I can, yeah, I'll go the other way. No, I'm just kidding. So this is by no means finished yet, but it's getting closer. And that's that. I've actually been the main or only builder on that whole project. So I've placed every brick and the whole design. So I'm not quite sure what to do about the top here. This is the Grand Exchange, which the concept was 100% taken from RuneScape. And it serves as the main trading post for the whole world. It's not really used ever, honestly, because Well, I don't really know why. I don't think people want to be told where they have to trade. But that's what it's here for. New players can come and trade here too. None of the old players really do. Normally, or not normally, but I want to kind of finish it and put a roof on it. I left it like this in almost RuneScape style where it's a top-down view and you never really saw the roof. You just look down at it. But I think it needs a nice domed roof and it'll be a bit nicer. There's a slight little concept to this to somewhat secure a trade where each person comes in, shuts the gate behind them. They put what they want to trade into the chest, and then on 3, or I mean, it doesn't have to be on 3 if they trust each other enough, but the idea is they put their items in and then they have to rotate around the pillar to get to what they want to get on the other side. And they can't just go back or take other things. And if they didn't put anything or they tried to cheat, then they're at least locked within this area. Maybe they can be quick, but that's at least the basic idea of it. Alright, we're going to continue on to where I was going to work on a new project. So this is Dragon's Keep. This is home to the only king in all of Kaa'n. A king doesn't have any more power than any other baron, which is a ruler of their own city. It's just the title of king isn't something that any other baron has taken on in this world. And I think it's kind of fitting to be king considering this is a big castle. So this has been started since the first era, which, well, the beginning of the first era. There's 2 eras of this map, and they each consist of well, the first era was about 4 years, and the second era only just recently started. So at the very beginning of the first era, which is very beginning of the map essentially, this was started. I won't get into all the details of the build in this episode or in this stream, but there are a lot. This village was only started in the second era, which has only been going for maybe a half of a year or so. The reason that we split the eras is because essentially at that 6-month period, however long ago that was, we went through a major building phase that kind of transformed a lot of the map and brought a whole new level to the world, essentially. Essentially, in the past 6 months, more things have been built than the previous 2 years combined before that. That's kind of how it's worked. And so, since there are books in this world that hold the history of what's gone on, we've split the timeline into 2 eras so that it's a bit more easy to understand when things happened. So this is the main village of Dragon's Keep. Each house is kind of color coordinated. They're not all finished by any means, but again, I have my own house in this one. There's no nameplate here yet, but maybe I'll make one. The way each house in this village works is there's a bottom living area, and so this is mine. This was my fish tank, but for some reason my fish keep dying. I think they might need direct sunlight or something. And then each house has a little backyard that borders a cliff so no one can get up. So although this castle's been here a long time, this village has only recently been built. Same with the waterways that surround all of this. None of this water is naturally here. The water over on this side surrounding the dragon, that was naturally here. And then we brought it all the way over and through, and then the whole village itself is actually technically an island because the water surrounds it, going around there as well. Oh. This is a new section we've just been working on at the very base of the castle, so that's why it's so rough and not formed. I'm not fully sure what to do with it. Oh, right, okay. I need to redo that because the world wasn't saved. Shit. This is a newer project in the castle, which is going to be the library. It's going to have many more bookshelves. It's taken quite a while to get all of this already. It's not very vegan friendly or animal friendly. If you can imagine, each bookshelf takes 3 cow leather. It's kind of 3 cows per bookshelf. It's a lot of cows on the wall. So here's a map of this city, Dragon's Keep. We're at that brown little dot right there in one of the levels of the castle. This map size is 1:1 square ratio, that's why you can even see the dots on the tents. Dragon statue. So yeah, this gives you a better idea of all the water and what we've brought in here. We brought the water all the way around through there. This map doesn't give you a very good sense of it, but essentially where my crosshair is drops down about 100 feet. So although that looks like all the water here is on the same level, it's actually not. This whole section close to the castle is actually about 150 feet lower than everywhere else here. So there's major waterfalls that fall down there, and same with here, there's major waterfalls that go down to the bottom, which we saw out front. And then this waterway connects out to the main sea, which is very easy and convenient for transportation. Dragon's Keep. And then this is the land that goes north to Zanzibar. So this is Zanzibar where we were before. That's the rail, or not the rail, but the roadway we took here. And then this is the Colosseum in Zanzibar. You can kind of see the outline. Doesn't have very much definition because it uses all the same materials as the land around it. But you can see the wall that surrounds the inner city and the port area. Another place that we haven't been to. So the purpose of this library is going to be one of the main documenting spots for the world. At least one of the first ones that's worked on. Each of these books have little things started in them. This is the history of Dragon's Keep, which is where we are. It's just a start to it. They need to be added to. This is general history of the whole world. This one is about roads and rivers and railways. So this is the project I was going to work on right now. This is where I was going to put the kitchen, which was going to involve different smokers. I don't know if you can build like a super smoker, but I was going to try to, or an auto smoker. I don't know what the difference is, but something that just loads them up automatically. Put a bunch of other manual smokers and furnaces, things like that. I don't know, make it look like a kitchen. And operate like one. You can see the second dragon statue still hasn't been built yet. It's halfway there. These are just residential rooms, and this is what I was going to work on right now, because these rooms have been here almost since the castle was really formed, and still no beds. This hallway and library was all just recently formed compared to these rooms down here. Then this is the new lounge I built for the king. And some more dynamic lighting. Pool table here, bar. Kitchen right across from it. Library beside it. Pretty good living on this floor. Alright, so I could make 2 yellow beds or 2 green beds. But I had it in my head that they were going to be purple, so we're going to do that. That gives you a better idea of how the lower water is. That as well. Alright, I'm just going to leave them like that with no extra decoration for right now. ready. What should I build? Because there's so much more we have here. Actually, I'm going to take some maps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to bring these with me. To go to a new area. So this is one of the newest projects we've built on the map here. This railroad was actually 100% built by me, and probably one of the longer projects that I've ever worked on, because it's so friggin' annoying. So this is the glass tunnel. Not the same glass tunnel that we saw earlier in this episode, but a new glass tunnel. The first one to have a railway through it. And if you look on my map, we're actually flying east here to our new outpost. This outpost is called Emerald Point. This place has been named Emerald Point because not only are there all these villagers you can trade with for emeralds, like this guy, he'll give you lots of emeralds for pretty much all the stuff growing here. But we've made it a lot more lush oasis by bringing grass and plants and trees here. We've brought vines. Tried to cover most of the main landmass and gardens and other things like that. This was actually a project started by, well, the village has been kind of an outpost for many people in the past while, and that's kind of why we've colonized it, so that for all the people who actually do pass by, there's something a bit more substantial here. We have more builds that are kind of much further southwest out that direction of the map. And so connecting the main capital to there, this is essentially the midway point. And that railway alone cuts the journey down by 2 to 3 minutes from the mainland. The trip itself takes essentially 1 minute exactly when timed. And one of the main things that we did when really colonizing this place is I can't even say we, this was all the king of Dragon's Keep who did this, Brandon, or Trooper to You. He dug out, you can essentially see where the natural desert normally conformed to that line right there. And so this was all sand. And he had this vision to essentially make this point even more of an oasis by cutting it off by water and bringing the water through the village. So this harbor was formed, and we imported some coral and some different plants to put in the bottom. And then the rest of it continues out directly through the village there in a canal. And not only does it make for a nice feature of the city, but it's also quite convenient if you're trying to just cross through from this part of the sea to the bottom part, because it cuts off having to go around the full point. These farmers naturally just replant everything up here. This is kind of the main meeting spot or main temple for the point. Not quite sure what to do with it yet, but it may just stay a big open public space like how it is now. And here's the main map of where we are. So you can see here's the canal that goes through the main city. Here's the main dock with the reception path. You can see just the red mane of the lion on the map. So not only did we name it Emerald Point because you can make so many emeralds here or trade them, but with all the little green gardens we're planting everywhere, it looks like there's more and more emeralds sprouting up all over. So that's that, Emerald Point. And I wanted to bring back a map sample of this, but I'm realizing this is 2x3. I'd have to cut off the bottom, which really is fine at this point because there's nothing there, but I was right. Okay, shut the front door. Stop it. This grass area was also pretty heavily terraformed to make it fit better, because this cross-section two chunks in a glitchy way that made it square. You can kind of see the squareness right there. So that had to be rounded and made to look more natural. Not quite sure what to do about that map, so I might hold off on it right now. Give you a view of the lion. You can see someone has a build on an island out there. Oh, I think that's Bob's build out there. Hello Bob, who's another main builder on this world. This place actually looks nice from here. The plan is to put another dragon statue exactly where or not dragon, lion statue where I am facing this way. So they both overlook the harbor here. Maybe we'll actually leave this for now as an introductory episode. And we'll start number 2 with starting one of our first builds. There's much more that's built on this map, but I'm not going to give it all away right now. We've discovered way more than what I see here. This map is just a new large size one, which is why you have to rediscover everything. Yeah, like I said, it would take hours to show everything, and I think I just about took an hour showing what I have already, so that's that for the first episode of Barons of Kaaan, and we'll see you in the next episode.